Welcome, everyone. Ready to dive into some seriously potent ancient wisdom? We're talking about the Corpus Hermeticum this time around, stuff that set the stage for the whole Renaissance.
And it's not just some dusty old philosophy. It's got this electric mix of Greek thought and Egyptian mysticism, like Plato meets, well, ancient Egyptian magic.
Right. Attributed to this mysterious Hermes Trismegistus centuries, these texts were basically lost, then bam, they're back, fueling the Renaissance.
More than fueling, it's like Hermes Trismegistus strolled in with a spotlight on ideas that had been hidden in plain sight. Thinkers like Da Vinci, Copernicus, even Newton later on, all influenced by this Hermetic view.
So we're talking art, science, the whole universe, revolutionized by these texts. What secrets did they unlock?
It's a different way of seeing ourselves, the cosmos, everything connected. The divine woven into existence itself, and us humans, we've got a special place in this grand tapestry.
Okay, now you've got me hooked.
Hmm.
But we're talking ancient texts. Where do we even begin to unpack this? Not exactly light reading, right?
Sure, not light reading at all. That's part of the intrigue, though. We're looking at excerpts, stuff like the Pomandres, the sacred sermon, vivid descriptions of creation itself, good and evil, the soul's journey, big stuff.
Let's start at the start then.
Yeah.
The Pomandres talk about dramatic. Darkness that knew no bounds was in abyss. Then holy light arose. It's like that let there be light, but with, I don't know, a cosmic echo.
It's powerful, that's for sure. Speaks to the Hermetic idea of duality, this back and forth light and darkness, order out of chaos, the foundation of everything, and that parallel to the Bible. Spot on, Renaissance thinkers. Many saw it as a whole other revelation. Same divine truths, different angle.
So out of that primordial darkness, light appears. Then the elements separate fire, air, earth, and water, like the universe is assembling itself right before our eyes.
Not just physical elements, though. Remember, the Hermeticists saw symbols in everything. Fire's that divine spark, air the intellect, water emotions, and earth the physical realm. Layers upon layers of meaning.
Okay, so no simple answers here. Got it. We've got these elements swirling around. What happens next?
Enter the Logos. The Pomandres calls it the spirit word. This force, this divine force that kickstarts everything. Not just words like we know them. Think of it like a cosmic principle, a vibration that brings creation to life and makes it orderly.
That's not your average conversation starter. This logo sounds like a pretty big deal.
It is the big deal in Hermetic thought. The bridge between the divine and everything we experience. The creative principle itself, the divine will taking form as creation.
So like the software running the entire universe.
Nailed it. And like software has code, the universe has structure. A cosmic blueprint. And where do they find this blueprint reflected? The 7 planets known in ancient times.
So that's where we get that sevenfold structure in the Polandos. It's like a hierarchy. Each planet is a governing force, right?
Exactly. Each one has a governor in their cosmology. A divine being overseeing its influence, guiding its energy, not just balls of rock and gas. These were living forces, each with their own qualities and powers.
This is where my brain goes into overdrive a little. Cosmic drama, creation from darkness, elements, logos in motion, planetary governors, keeping it all running. Where do ABE fit into this? We're not just minor characters in this play, are we?
Oh, we're not minor characters at all. We're right in the thick of it. The Corpus Hermeticum puts humanity at center stage, you see? Not just in the universe, but a reflection of it. Remember, man as a microcosm.
Right. Like where each of these little universes walking around echoes that whole cosmic structure. A lot to take in. Does that mean I've got a tiny Jupiter inside me with its own mini governor?
Not planets exactly, but the idea is we embody those same principles, those energies driving the cosmos. Sevenfold structure out there. The Corpus Hermeticum says humans have that nature of the conquered of the 7 inside us, too.
Okay, yeah, that as above, so below thing, definitely sensing a pattern here. But how's that play out in our lives? If I'm this microcosm reflecting the divine and all that, what am I supposed to do with that?
The million-dollar question, right. The Corpus Hermeticum, it suggests our purpose is to wake up to that spark, that divine bit within us. Cultivate it and, ultimately, achieve gnosis.
Gnosis. All right, we keep circling this word. Time to unpack it. What does that even mean in this context?
Not just head knowledge, not like memorizing facts. Gnosis is deeper, it's experiential understanding, a total shift, like an inner awakening, where we know our true nature, are linked to the divine.
Whoa, so not reading about it, but like having a full-on mystical experience.
You could say that, yeah. But it's not passive. The Corpus Hermeticum says we strive for this gnosis. A journey, self-discovery, spiritual transformation, the whole works.
And what's that look like? How do we even start on a quest for gnosis?
It's inner work, a lot of it. The texts talk about silencing the bodily senses, all that chatter in our minds, turning our focus inward.
Hitting the mute button on the outside world so we can finally hear what's going on inside.
Exactly that. That stillness, that's where we tap into a deeper knowing. Intuitive, beyond what our rational minds can grasp.
Kind of like meditation. Or those moments when you're so deep in creative flow, you lose track of everything else.
Perfect examples, touching on those gnosis states in daily life. And the more we cultivate them, the Corpus Hermeticum says, aligning ourselves with that inner spark, we transform ourselves, how we experience the world, everything changes.
So not just on meditating in a cave somewhere, but bringing that wisdom be back into the everyday.
Exactly. Gnosis's power isn't escaping the world, it's transforming how we relate to it, bringing that light, that divine spark into every single thing we do.
Sounds incredible, but I'm guessing it's not always easy. The world's a pretty distracting place, gotta say.
You're telling me. The Corpus Hermeticum, it acknowledges the challenges, the evils we come up against. But they don't mean it like we do today, not some big bad force out there.
So no fighting demons with pitchforks then. What's their take on evil?
More like opposition, resistance, inertia, stuff the soul encounters on its way towards the good. Those moments of doubt, fear, getting caught up in stuff that clouds our judgment, you know?
Those inner battles then, like, do I follow my ego or do I listen to my gut, that kind of thing.
Exactly. Recognizing we have that choice every moment. Light or shadow, which way do we go? And the more gnosis we cultivate, stronger the connection to the light gets, better we are at navigating all that.
Like leveling up our spiritual gear, more resilient to those evils that try to throw us off. What about when we die, though? Any mention of the afterlife in the Corpus Hermeticum?
Reincarnation, big time. Death wasn't the end for them, just a transition. Body's gone, but the soul, the real us, keeps going.
Like hitting reset on the game, starting a new chapter in this cosmic adventure.
Love that analogy. And just like any adventure, the choices we make, they shape the path, the experiences we have. The more gnosis we build up in this life, the smoother that transition's going to be, according to the Corpus Hermeticum.
So it's not just about what happens after we die, but how we're living right now.
Bingo. Every thought, action, choice, it's all shaping the soul, prepping us for what comes next.
Leaving a trail of breadcrumbs, are we? Leading us toward the light, or maybe deeper into the shadows.
And the cool thing is, we get to choose which way we're going. We're not just along for the ride. We're co-creating the whole damn thing.
Okay, that's both empowering and a little daunting. Makes you think twice about every little decision, knowing it echoes beyond just this life. Not YOLO, more like YOL forever. Okay, maybe not the catchiest, but you get the idea.
And it's not just our own personal adventures either, see the Corpus Hermeticum. It's big on this idea that we're all connected, like a web of consciousness, cosmic scale.
Whoa, like I'm picturing those flocks of birds moving as one, each just a tiny part of this huge pattern, except it's souls instead of birds. And well, everything is the sky.
Now that's an image. Gets right to the heart of it. They called it the communion of souls. What one soul does, those ripples, they go out and touch everyone else.
So we're all swimming in the same pool, so to speak.
Yeah.
We can make it clearer or muddy things up for everybody.
Which is where that gnosis, that inner knowing, becomes so vital. Align ourselves with the good, the divine within. We lift the whole thing up.
Big responsibility right there.
Yeah.
But also kind of beautiful when you think about it. But let's be real. Even with the best intentions, we mess up, right? We stumble, sometimes face plant right into the cosmic pavement. What would the Corpus Hermeticum say about those times on the gnosis path?
Oh, they knew we weren't perfect, no sugarcoating there. In fact, they kind of flipped the script on that. Those stumbles, those times we missed the mark, they're opportunities for growth, they said.
So less beating ourselves up, more like, okay, what did I learn from this face plant?
Exactly. Those failures, those detours, they're not the end. Just part of the process, that's all.
Got to have a little cosmic grace for ourselves, huh? We're all works in progress down here. Speaking of which, one thing that really stuck with me from these texts is how much emphasis they put on the mind. Powerful tool, sure, but also easy to get tripped up by it if we're not careful, right?
Absolutely right. Double-edged sword. That's how they saw the mind. On one hand, it's how we access gnosis, connect with the divine, transcend our limits. But it can also distract us, fill us with doubts, even sabotage the whole thing if we let it.
Like, our minds are these amazing race cars, capable of incredible things, but without the right skills, we're going to be driving in circles, maybe crashing and burning. How do we take the wheel?
That's where mind-led living comes in, making the choice to align our thoughts, our beliefs, our actions with that higher principle, the divine mind, you could say, that inner wisdom. Every moment we can react out of fear, ego, all that baggage, or we respond from awareness, compassion, connection. That's the key.
Tuning into the GPS instead of the backseat drivers up in our heads? I like it.
Exactly. The more we practice that mind-led living, the Corpus Hermeticum says, the quieter things get inside. That's when the real guidance can come through.
Trusting our gut, those instincts that often know more than we give them credit for.
And noticing those synchronicities, those little winks from the universe when we're on the right track.
Got to keep our eyes open for those cosmic clues.
The more we tune in, the more we realize, hey, we're not just wandering in the dark here. There's intelligence behind it all, wisdom, even love, guiding every step we take.
Now that's a thought, isn't it? Not alone on this journey, something bigger's got our back, ready to nudge us when we wander off course. Love that.
And the best part is, it's not separate from us, not out there somewhere. The Corpus Hermeticum reminds us, the divine, it's within each and every one of us. Remember that line, man on earth is God subject to death, while God in heaven is man from death immune. Powerful stuff.
Yeah, it really makes you think. Like, we already have those divine qualities, just hidden by our limited view, how stuck we get in the material world.
And that journey of waking up, that quest for gnosis, it's peeling back those layers, shedding those limits, and owning who we truly are, divine beings, just having a human experience for a little while.
Beautiful, inspiring, and honestly a little daunting too. Fills me with awe, for sure, thinking of the cosmos, how everything's connected, but also a responsibility to actually live that truth now that I'm aware of it.
And that's the core of the Hermetic message, isn't it? To wake up to our own divinity, to live in alignment with that, and help create a world that reflects it back. More harmony, more enlightenment, all that good stuff.
Message that's as relevant today as it was way back then, maybe even more so now. Will feels kind of crazy sometimes, right? But the Corpus Hermeticum, it's like this timeless well of wisdom, self-discovery, hope, all rolled into one.
Reminds us we're not just cogs in the machine, we're active participants in this grand cosmic play, co-creators, each and every one of us, and ultimately, reflections of that divine spark.
Wow, what a deep dive this has been. Thanks for taking us through it. Really got me thinking in new ways about the Corpus Hermeticum. And listeners, if any of this resonated, I urge you, go explore it for yourselves. Until next time, keep seeking, keep exploring, and let that inner light shine.